what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the female reproductive system minus the menstrual cycle and the formation of the egg. So let's just go over the female reproductive. A woman's reproductive system produces sex hormones and functional gametes. It must also be able to protect and support a developing embryo and nourish a newborn infant. The main organs of the female reproductive system are the ovaries, the uterine tubes, the uterus, the vagina, and the components of the external genitalia such as the clitoris and the labia majora and minora. As in males, a variety of accessory glands, the urethral glands and greater vestibular glands, release secretions into the female reproductive tract. Also, what I'll go over in addition to the reproductive system is the breast as well. I mean, breast is going to provide the nourishment for the infant. So I'll include that as part of this video. So let's go ahead and get started with the female reproductive parts. Okay, I'm going to use this model here. Okay, all right, so let's first start off with the, like we did with the males, the site of the gamete production. The site of the gamete production will be at the ovary. One thing I do want to mention real briefly about the male and female is pretty interesting, is that everybody is female up to the second month of fetal life. It isn't until the excess release of testosterone that allows the reproductive parts of at that moment, a female, second month of fetal life, to start descending or going down. It's called the descent of the testes. So try to think of the male and female being homologous. A lot of the components are similar to each other, okay? Like the ovary, it's similar to the male testes. The Bartholin's gland is similar to the Cowper's gland in the male. The labia majora can be like the scrotum. And the vas deferens is like the male, the fallopian tube is like the male vas deferens. So the additional feature that the female has is that she has a uterus, and that's very important to house the child. Now, over here you have let's look at this part. I'm going to take this off for a second. Here you can see the ovary, okay, this structure right here. I have another model here to show you real quick. So here you can see the ovary. This is supposed to represent this part right there. Inside this yellow that you see here with the red, inside the yellow would be these structures here, which are going to be the oocytes. We'll go over more in detail in the menstrual cycle, but the oocytes are produced in the ovary. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And then from there, the oocyte will be picked up by the fallopian tube. Okay, so let's go back to this model. Okay, so here we have the ovary, and these little red things here, those are called fimbriae. Okay, they're like little finger-like projections that extend from the fallopian tube. Think of my arm being like the fallopian tube and the fimbriae being like the fingers. Okay, and that fimbriae acts like a vacuum, and it kind of lures or sucks in the secondary oocyte. Okay, and then the secondary oocyte will go into this part here called the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube is going to be made up of three different parts. You have the infundibulum, which is the first part. You have the ampulla, and then you have the isthmus, which is the part that connects to the uterus. Okay? In the infundibulum / ampulla, that's where the ideal sweet spot is for the sperm to come and go inside the egg. So you hope that the conception happens here, okay? And then the egg and sperm will come together about 7 days and go into the uterus, okay? All right, so let's look at the uterus next, okay? Okay, so up here you can see the uterus right here. Okay, we'll take that off. The uterus is right there. You see the pink and the red right there. Pink and, not the one below with the pink, that's the urinary bladder, the one on the top here, okay? And that's the uterus, okay? We're going to go more into detail of the uterus, but suffice it to say for now, we have here, this is there's three layers of the uterus inside. You have the pink and the red is called the endometrium. Okay, the pink is actually the functionalis, and the red is the basal. And this is the part that sloughs off during the menstrual cycle each month. Okay. And then you have the next layer, which is the myometrium, which is the muscular layer. That myometrium will contract and help push out the baby. And then you have the epimetrium, okay. The perimetrium, sorry, which is the outer part of the uterus. Okay. So endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. Okay. Now what we can do is just know that the top of the uterus is called the fundus. Then you have the body, and then here you have the cervix. Okay. There's a cervix right there. Here's the cervical canal. And you can say this is the internal os and the external os. Also, what they do is, in order for, they do a pap smear. They scrape a little bit off that cervix, and they check the cells to see if there's any cancer. Okay. All right. So here you have the uterus, and then here you have the vagina with the rugae. Okay. And then here there's a little skin down here that kind of covers the entrance of the vagina. It's got little holes in it, so you definitely got air coming in and out of it, but that's called the hymen. Okay, and that skin covers pretty much the vagina all the way until there's some intercourse, or there's even stories of other ways of the hymen to be broken off, to be cut or ripped. And in some cultures, if that hymen is broken before copulation, then that could spell disaster for the female. All right, so we got the hymen, then we got the labia minora, and then here we have the labia majora. Okay, so labia minora, labia majora. Okay, over here in the front here, you have the mons pubis. You see the clitoris. It's a very long structure, mainly for arousal. And again, in some countries, they cut this clitoris so the girl won't have any sexual arousal. I mean, it's just crazy. And hopefully one day we can ban that practice once and for all. So the clitoris, all right, I just wanted to mention another thing here. The clitoris will be similar to the male corpora cavernosa, or homologous to the male corpora cavernosa, the clitoris. And then the vestibular bulb will be homologous to the male bulb, which is the bottom part of the corpus spongiosum. Okay.
Accessory glands.
Then here you have the Bartholin's gland, okay, which would be homologous to the male Copper's gland. Okay, it helps lubricate the vagina. Okay, so that's pretty much it. All the different parts of the female, without getting too much into the ovarian cycle or menstrual cycle. So let's just go over finally here. Let's go over the breast. Okay.
The breasts.
Let's look at some of the components. Okay. Breast is very important for the production of milk for the baby. Okay. There's these structures here that are called the mammary glands. Okay, the mammary glands are stimulated by prolactin to produce milk. Okay, then that milk will travel from the mammary glands to lactiferous ducts, which are these little lines right here, and into this like kind of more swelling looking part here. It's called like lactiferous sinus. Okay? So the milk goes from the mammary glands into lactiferous duct, lactiferous sinus, and there's a hormone called oxytocin that will help eject that milk to come out here through the nipple, which is surrounded by the areola. Okay. Here you see the pectoral fat pad and some lymphatic vessels. I know it's tempted to say these are suspensory ligaments, but they're not, because you can see some lymph nodes up here connected to these lymphatic ducts. And if you want to say maybe suspensory ligaments, then maybe you can say these little lines right here, these little white lines right there. That helps keep the breast to fight against gravity, but eventually gravity is going to prevail. All right, so that's it basically for the female reproductive parts. So on the next video, what I'll do is that I'll go over the ovarian cycle and the uterine cycle, collectively known as the menstrual cycle. Okay. So we'll do that next. Okay. Hope you like this video. Hopefully this will help you out. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. All right. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.